So, let's do the parts. We have the crankshaft or the cylinder, the head, the crank rear, the crank front, and the kind of in between crank and the throttle. So, after these parts is the starter motor, very important. And you could not use it. It just kind of it's compact and simple. All right, we got pipes, which you could use them if you're going to use one throttle for the whole engine, like I'm trying to do over there, but you don't need them if you're just trying to do like a simple engine. And I believe that's all the parts that came out. Yeah. Oh, the alternator. That's if you're using the energy mode, where it uses the battery stuff. So to start, we have the cylinder. I'm gonna attach that with a beam. Simple little attachment like that. Now, if you're going to do a one-cylinder engine, it's very important that you only use the end crankshaft and not the front crankshaft. There is a difference. This is for obviously the front, but this is going to be like the base of your crankshaft, pretty much. So if you only have this, there's going to be no base for your crankshaft, and it's just not going to start. So plop that in there. Could give it more space. I could extend this up for a little bit, and I think it's seven blocks up. I think it's the max. I haven't really double checked that, but you can go ahead and experiment with that. Next is connecting these together, or putting the piston in there. I've seen a couple people get confused with this. You just got to use the connect tool. Connect the top to the bottom. It creates that piston. And then if you're doing anything more advanced, like a inline 3 or a V6, you might want to change the angle of the crank. You can do that in here. And then also the invert direction. I'll show you what that does later. But that allows the engine to spin in an opposite direction if you need it to. And another thing, if what's it? Yeah, if this is inverted, you have to invert your starter too. Next is the head. That just goes right up there. I'm just going to shorten this. This is your exhaust and your intake. Very important. Also, make sure to turn this on. Yeah, every head that you have on the engine has to be turned on for the engine to run. That includes this too. This is how you get your throttle. This is your throttle control. So if I set a keybind to that to F, that will be connected to there. The only connection you need to do is this here. And the next thing is the starter, which I'm going to use just a basic spur gear right here. You could use where's it at? This clutch ring gear. So if you have a engine you want to attach to your car, this would be recommended. So you can kind of have a clutch in there. Now the starter, you can just kind of place mine right here. You're gonna want to have it one block back from the start gear, or the whatever this is called. I guess a flywheel. Get an axle and just put that in there. It doesn't need to connect to that. I'll show you why in a bit. Just put a single spur gear there, and I gotta make sure this doesn't fall. Just like that. Now this should run. I'm not 100%, but Well, first I gotta turn this on, set it to G. Yep, all my parts are on, so I also have to make sure that can rotate. Okay. There it goes. And just like that, it started. Now the whole inverted thing, say I wanted this to turn counterclockwise. First off, let's stop it. And then put it back up on edit mode. And I'm going to hit invert direction. And now, once I turn that on, it will not just immediately start going that way. You can see if I use the starter motor, it's just not going to turn. It's not going to crank. So I have to invert the direction of the starter motor, and then it will start. So that's how you get it started. And I'm fairly sure that's it, besides the bigger crankshafts, which I will show you how to do here. I'll do a inline 4 just for demonstration. Pretty basic engine. Alright, bam. Got the crankshaft in there. Now, this, I'm just going to make this as a 180. I'm going to change the crankshaft that way. There is no invert here, like I said, how, this is the base of your whole thing. It's going to, yeah, cut that out. What else? So now you just attach these to your crankshaft. And I'm just going to copy the head over. And this is the side I'm going to do my throttle on. I could do, one pipe going through and connect to one, but I'm just going to do all 4 because I can. Okay, so while I was testing to see if this worked, I found out that this gives you that sort of cammed style engine. So if I start this up with the pipes attached, you can see it kind of has that, kind of up and down idle. That's just with one of them connected by pipes to each one. These are T pipes into the side that I chose for the intake. And it doesn't really matter, it's just kind of up to you. And this just needs to put back on there. Okay. Now that that's on there, this should start right off. As long, I do have to do the firing order, so just look up like a firing order for the engine you're trying to make. So this would be the second, so it'd be 1, 3, 2, 4 is what I'm going to try and go for. So it starts off with the first fire, second one, the third, and the fourth. Just like that. I need to stop this. Alright, so this should start right up. Just like that. And then, you can kind of do what you want with this. The V configuration, it's the same thing. You just connect these up to your crankshaft, but you use these parts instead of the straight up beams. So you can have that sort of configuration. Now if you are using, or if you are doing a 90 configuration, I'd recommend using the W45 beam instead of the 90, so you can have, like in this example engine, you can have the starter here instead of on the side, and also you can, invert the solenoid so it kind of pokes out, and then if you start it, it does that. But I'm fairly sure that's everything. That should, yeah, it should be everything. So, I guess the only other thing would be the alternator, which you just kind of connect via pulley and it just generates electricity. And yeah, that's it.